Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 17. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Oh, and tomorrow, let's get together and talk about this season. We have not had a live all season long. I know the season is giving snooze fest, but this episode kind of sparked some interest. And I think these last two episodes before Decision Day. Before Decision Day is going to be about something. So meet me tomorrow night at 8 and don't be late. Now, child, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. When the episode first opens up, everybody's getting home from the retreat. Chris and Nicole. So they're getting home. And he's telling Nicole, you know, it's between Jasmine and Eris and Kirsten and Shaq that are making the biggest strides. Who are y'all to be talking about who making the biggest strides? What's going on with you two? Okay? That's what y'all need to be worried about. So Nicole feels like they always leave themselves out when they talk about people making strides, and they're doing great. And she also brings up the mini golf game. So she's telling him that she did have fun, even though she didn't win. And she saw that she can have fun with him no matter what she's doing. And he didn't even have to use the code word. She was like, I mean, did you feel like you needed to use it? Like at any point, were you feeling like you needed to use it? I'm sure he was screaming it internally, but he didn't say it out loud. And so he says that he wants to get rid of the safe word. He's like, let's get rid of the safe word. No more pineapples anywhere, including the decor. Yes, this is not a resort, Nicole. Okay, no more pineapples. Clean them the hell up. Y'all, Chris was running through that apartment like the Tasmanian devil, getting rid of every single pineapple. A can of Dole pineapples didn't stand a chance. No can of pineapples was safe. Do you hear me? But really and truly, just talk to each other. There's no reason to have a safe word. You are adults. You are married. Talk to each other. I don't like it. Okay? Talk respectfully to each other, but talk. Like, what do you mean, safe word? I'm not going to be just walking around the house, pineapples. No, let's sit down. Let's talk like adults, and everything's going to be fine. Moving forward. Jasmine and Eris. So they're back at home in bed, acting all awkward. You know how they like to do. And he's like, you know, thank you for making me feel welcome to the retreat. It was a welcoming experience. Oh, Lord. They start to talk about Decision Day. He says he's happy, you know, for the group because it seems like everybody is moving forward and doing good. And so he tells her that she's doing great, expressing herself, so she needs to keep it up. Now, I was about to get on him real quick, but then he asked her what she needed from him. I was like, all right, nah. Because I was just going to say, you always talking about what you need. What about what she needs? Even though I think everything that he says is a bunch of bull, we're still going to go with it. She was like, yeah, you know, I just really want to continue to feel like it's a safe space to express those things to you and that you really want to hear them. And you also, you know, I also want to increase the intimacy. Why? Why you want to increase the intimacy? So he's like, yeah, you know, I just want you to initiate it. And you've been doing it. You know, you've been trying to hold my hand because, you know, the longer that we don't do it, it becomes more awkward. So let me get this straight. After weeks of making her feel rejected, she needs to initiate intimacy with you. This man know how to make me mad, don't he? Baby, he know how to make me mad. So you mean to tell me that you spent weeks on end, 17 weeks, because I have been watching your flathead for 17 damn weeks. For 17 weeks, you have let us know that you are a 10. Shorty right there is a 10. Oh, a 10. Honey, shout out to the dream. You are a 10 and she is a 2. And now the 2 has to initiate intimacy with you. It's giving a fool. Clint and Hank. Yes, y'all heard that right, honey. Clint and Hank. He says everything is going well between him and Gina. That's what you think. But with Hank, it's going great. Yes, Clint, be prepared to say yes to Hank on Decision Day. Now, I don't know if y'all gonna go down to the family courts or what. I don't know if this is gonna be a, you know, an amicable split because Hank gonna want to hang out with you. And he's the best part of Gina. So I don't know what y'all gonna do about it. He and Frank were on a full-on date. I said, look at Clint. Clint hanging out with the dog. Child, this is a mess. Kirsten and Shaq. So she's meeting up with her brother. I ain't even remember she had siblings. That's how far removed Kirsten is from this family appearing on this show. I forgot she had siblings. So he's asking her how it's going, and she's telling him, they aren't having enough intentional conversation. They're not talking about after decision day. Where are we going to live? What are we going to do? That's because the two of you have been talking in circles since you met. So, of course, you're not having intentional conversation. So she's up in the air on a yes because she doesn't feel like he wants to be married. She's like, I feel like we're just living together and we're just kind of existing. That's the most honest thing that Kirsten has said all season long. I can agree with you, Kirsten. The two of you are simply existing. Moving forward. So her brother was like, well, is there anything that you need to work on? I know that's right, brother. Please ask her, because I'm feeling like she puts it all on Shaq. Shaq puts it all on her, and it's both of them. You have things to work on, and he has things to work on as well. So let's get down to it. She was like, well, I need to bring him around the family. And speaking of family, why has it taken so long for him to interact with yours? I know why, but I just want to hear you lie real quick. So she was like, yeah, I need to bring him around dad. So her brother goes, yeah, because dad, he's the judge. He gonna put the hammer down. That's the judge. Now I get it. You are hiding Shaq. You don't like him, so you're hiding him. You already know that your dad is going to be a harsh critic. And there are things about Shaq that you are embarrassed of, or that you just don't want to get out. And so you don't want to bring him around your daddy. And you ain't fooling me. Chris and Nicole. So he's hanging out with his brother. He's a life coach. Oh, Doug's back. Every time I see Chris's brother, he reminds me of Doug, honey. Hey, Doug. He needs to offer a little life coach advice to Nicole and Chris. I hope you've been coaching and life in your brother, because child, they sure need the help. So they start talking about Nicole and him, and he tells his brother how, he caters to Nicole. And so his brother was asking what he felt that Nicole could do better. And so Chris said he feels like she's a little bit too critical of herself. And she is. Chris said, looking at decision day, he can see himself saying yes, but then he's trying to figure out if he wants to do this for the rest of his life. Will it last? What's going to happen? And me personally, I think that it can last once y'all start getting real and stop acting perfect. You don't want to hurt her feelings. She don't want to hurt your feelings. You say things that you really mean in confessional. She says things and then she masks them with, it's okay if you don't want to. I mean, you don't have to. Once y'all stop doing that and start getting down to the nitty gritty and get rid of these damn safe words, y'all gonna be all right. So child, Mackinley is back. Return of the Mac. It is Return of the Mac. Child, Return of the Mac. Him and Clint are in the gym. Okay, pumping some iron. So they sit down, they start talking. He talking to old sneaky Mackinley about him and Gina. Meanwhile, he's in the confessional talking about, I feel like I don't know what's going on, because Clint's an attractive guy and Gina's an attractive girl, but they're not attracted to each other. And, me and Gina, we have a lot in common. We both are, introverted. We're both not partiers. And I'm attracted to her, and I think she found me attractive. Pause. Once he said we're both not partiers, that told me that you and Gina have been talking. Because the one thing that Gina keeps bringing up is the fact that Clint likes to have a good time. She said it at the retreat. He was partying and he was getting drunk. And people were looking. So it makes me think that the two of you are already conversing. You a low down something, Mackinley. And you ain't fooling me, okay? The two of you are already talking. Talking about, I wish I was matched with Gina. So then Clint is like, are you dating? He said, well, I'm definitely not holding back. Well, child, you got that right. He's like, yeah, and I'm looking forward to the future. So then Mackinley asked him about decision day, basically trying to get a read on what's going down. He just want to know what time he needs to pick Gina up after decision day, because he been falling off in her DMs, and the two of them have been talking inappropriately, might I add. Mackinley, you are a snake. You sitting here smiling in Clint's face, knowing they smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. The backstabbers. You're a backstabber. And I'm happy Dominique went on back to her catfish and left you in that basement. Shaquille and Kirsten. So he's on FaceTime with his friend Sherman. Hey, Sherman. Y'all know I thought Sherman was cute down to the wedding, honey. But then I found out Sherman was married. So, honey, I'm going to respect your wife. But you are a handsome gentleman. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. Y'all know I'm going to give y'all a whole lot of detail. So he asked how he and Kirsten are doing. And he said, I'm trying to show up as my authentic self. And we've been trying to vibe, but it doesn't seem like we're growing together. Y'all just say no. Just say no to each other, honey. Just say no. So he asked about the family dynamic because he knows that that's important to Shaq. He said, well, she been talking to my family. She definitely been talking to that mama. That's probably why she running for the hills, honey. When that mama FaceTimed her, that was all she wrote. So anywho, he said that she's been talking to his mom, but he hasn't even met her dad. Shaquille wants the white picket fence and she's hiding him out in the open. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. In the next scene, baby, Jasmine and Gina are doing pole dancing. So Jasmine tells us, our husbands aren't attracted to us, so I just figured let's do something sexy. No, your husband ain't attracted to you. Really and truly, I feel like Clint is attracted to Gina, and I think that he was, but when she came out with those gingery comments, he just shut down because he doesn't want to be rejected. So I'm not going to put myself out there, and you done already said something about my hair color. So, I hit you with the 1-2, and you hit me with the uppercut. So now it's just a draw. Moving forward. So they doing this little pole dancing, honey. Jasmine, I see you moving a little bit. Okay, little booties matter, honey. Get into it. Give it to him, Jasmine. Here come Eris walking in looking all gross, trying to sneak a peek at that instructor, and he ain't fooling me. I'm like, why you scanning the room? You can't never make eye contact, but you can make contact with all that in the room. I see what's going on. So they leave out and she gave him a little show. Now, the way she was putting on for her city, I love to see it because I'm happy that Jasmine is showing her sexy side, but I just wish it was not to Eris. And baby, after she finished, she was like, you want to get certified? Not the stripper certificate. Him and Olajuwon Isaac and his neck tattoo. They something else, child. These two, they go down in the Hall of Fame, and put Chris from season 12 in there with them. This is just a mess, honey. Not certified. He would be excited about the pole dancing of it all. This is the first time that I've seen him look directly at her all season. And I don't even know if it was eye contact. You love for her to be objectified, but for her to sit down and be a nice woman, you don't want that. And Jasmine, pick up every dollar, okay? Because he was throwing money. And he want to sit down and talk because you throwing it in a circle. Pick up every single dollar. And Eris, I hope you didn't bring in no Usher bucks, because I know how you like to do. Charlie can't be trusted. Oh, honey, these people. You got to find the humor in this season. This is a mess. Shaquille and Kirsten. So he's at home making breakfast for dinner. I love me some breakfast for dinner. I love it. So anywho, she comes in. She's trying to unbig her back. So she was like, child, I'm already getting fluffy through this experiment or whatever. I just had chicken and waffles this morning, so I'm only going to eat one pancake. So they're making breakfast. She starts helping and telling him about how she spoke to her brother about decision day and how she's inviting her family over. So Shaquille is like, oh, well, that should be interesting. So he wants to know why it took so long. She's like, they're working. He's concerned that they don't want to meet him. He's like, is it me? Like, do they not support you? Do they not like me? Like, what's going on? Now, for me, I feel like it's all Kirsten. She doesn't want them around you. It's a no. She does not want her family around you. She's like, it was scheduling. He said, okay, well, we're going to go with that. He doesn't understand why her family isn't around because his family is always there for him. And it's quite odd that her family is nowhere to be seen. Now, I have to say this. I'm going to play devil's advocate for just a moment. Shaquille, everybody's family is not tight knit. Everybody's family is not close knit. Now, I do think that Jasmine is hiding something, mainly you, but if the circumstances were different and you were with someone else and their family was not as involved, please don't make people feel bad for the family. They can't choose their family. Family is bestowed upon you. You can't choose it. So I just feel like he was being kind of judgy boots, but at the same time, Kirsten, you be lying and whatnot. We know her mom gonna go missing if she don't do nothing else. Because y'all remember down to the wedding, we had to look for her. It took her forever to find her way to the wedding. So, That's her mama. As far as her brother is concerned, he has to work and she is hiding that daddy because you aren't the one. Just so we're clear. So she's telling him that she doesn't get the feeling that he wants her. He doesn't really seem excited when he comes home and sees her. Well, baby, what she say that for? They rolled that beautiful bean footage. They rolled the receipts. And then we see Shaquille acting like she don't even exist. Shaquille, you don't like that lady. She just fits your check mark. She fits into what you think your life is supposed to be. So I know you don't like Kirsten like that. No man comes in the house and y'all have already had the sexuals. Y'all have already gone to Pound Town. So you mean to tell me you went through Pound Town and now you don't want to kiss your wife when you come in? She's laying on the couch. You don't go over to touch her or even act like she exists? Yeah, And Kirsten, you don't like him either. You don't like him like that. Y'all just hang it up. Moving forward. So it's time for the intimacy exercise. And it seems like Jasmine and Eris are the only two that got this exercise, but we shall see. And we know Eris is excited for his homework because he's a kink and whatnot. So they're playing with this feather and he's massaging her feet. She has him handcuffed. I would have handcuffed him to the bed and tickled his feet with that feather until he screamed for mercy. Baby, I was so petty. Baby, I would have had him screaming. Do you hear me? He would have passed out. Child, all that stuff he done put Jasmine through. But I have a question. This is a side note. Jasmine, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. Why are you always working so hard for this man? Massaging his feet, massaging his hands, lotioning his ashy ankles, rubbing his back. Let him work for you as well. He already thinks that you think that he is the moon and the stars above. Let him prove that he likes you even a little bit. It is okay to let him show and prove sometimes. So he starts asking about if she would like to be a dominatrix. And she's like, I'm not opposed to it. Your personality, it could never work, child. It could never work. So he wants to be whipped and slapped and chained. And he wants to be all kinds of stuff. Now, since he wants to be hit and whipped and whatnot, I would have hit him so hard, he would have never had that request again. But that's just me. Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to experiment with your spouse. When you're with your husband and you're with your wife, that's when you let go of your inhibitions and just be free and get into it. But this dude right here, I don't see him actually liking Jasmine outside of sexual conversation. If it has anything to do with anything other than that, I don't see a spark. When she told him, I climbed all the way up the tree, he's like, oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. It's because I wasn't there. You did good. I guess you did all right. Soon as she pulls out the whip, would you like to be a dominatrix? Oh, would you like your stripper certification? It's just giving, I don't want to be bothered, honey. Anywho, Eris is a kinky little something. And Jasmine, stop being shy. Okay? And like I said, I can see both sides. It's all right for you to let your hair down. It's okay. Drop down and get your eagle on, girl. What is wrong? He was like, in this confessional, I'm very excited about this because I'm a very sexual person. And I was wondering about married sex, like what it's like. And, I could see a shift happening. Jasmine, don't do it. You better ask Paige. Don't do it. He'll have you running up and down the hallways with your hair standing up over your damn head, wearing a robe, looking for him to bring back bacon. And he down there talking to that ex. You better call Paige. Moving forward. In the next scene, Nicole is FaceTiming her dad. Hey, daddy. And she's talking to him about decision day. So her dad says, it's your decision. Chris isn't a bad guy. We know he's not a serial killer. So, it's cool. Her dad seems to like Chris. He said he's emotionally stable. He supports her. He supports her wanting Chris. But Nicole is still concerned about how chill he is being about this living situation. Like, we gonna need to live together. Or at least discuss living together. And the dad is like, either you're in or you're out. What you gonna do? The dad ain't got time for it. So then we are down to the reason that Gina is on this show. The Solar Salon. Gina and Clint. So, baby, she done took him down to that salon. And she took him down there to get a haircut. I wouldn't go nowhere near that salon. Do you hear me? Not nowhere. So he's getting this silly haircut. And of course, Gina is taking little digs at him. She really irks me. She really does. He was fine the way you found him. And this ain't the kind of haircut for him. No way. He needs a fade, honey. You need to if you're going to give him something, give him all the zhuzh, honey. Give him his Justin Timberlake zhuzh. I personally liked the man bun. There was nothing wrong with that. This haircut here is nothing to phone home about. His beard should have been trimmed a little bit. You didn't really do nothing. You thought you did something, but you really didn't do nothing. She's like, I mean, now I feel like he has swag. Maybe that's what I was missing. Girl gone. Like I said, he was perfect the way he was. You're doing the same thing old flat face Haley did season 12 to my Jacob. She tried to put them Ross dress for less shirts on him. It didn't make a difference. You know why? Because Jacob went right back to his 80s attire, as he should. Baby, Jacob said to hell with it. Oh, honey. And another thing, too. You would be upset if he had a fit about your slouchy demeanor. You're always slouched and hunched over. If he sat you up straight and told you, listen, I like women with a bit of posture. I would like for you to sit up straight. Or if he took you somewhere to take out your fillers. Or if he wanted you to dye your hair blonde. If he tried to change you, you would have a full-on fit. But because it's you and you want him to fit what you think is attractive, it's okay. No, it's not. Leave this man alone. Like, leave him alone. Shaquille and Kirsten. These two know how to present as a couple aesthetically, but everything else is a no. Because when they get dressed up, they look so good together. But that's where it stops. It begins and it ends at this color coordinating. That's it. So they're going to church together. And I actually love that. I love that they're keeping God at the center of this relationship, honey. We got to say a special prayer for this season because I don't know what's going on. But then we get down to the church and I'm like, not these two dressed up to sit in an empty pew. Y'all could have sat in pew number 5 at the house. So they start talking about their prayers for their marriage. Over on the other side, Jasmine and Eris are going to get their palms read. So we went from the pew to the palms, from the pew to the psychic. We down here with Mr. Pank, honey. We down to the Pank because you know he love a good stripper and whatnot. And so Jasmine says she brought him there so that he could get in touch with some people from his family. Okay. So they sit down with this psychic or this medium and she's telling them to sign their name. So they sign their name. So she starts talking about how Eris is strong and she's never seen a signature like his before, but he's still trying to figure himself out. And then she looks at Jasmine's J and she's like, you doubt yourself a lot, but you're great. I'm like, what? Anywho, she's like, there are some decisions to be made. Duh. Decision day is knocking at the door. This is Married at First Sight. Girl, don't act like you don't watch and don't act like you ain't been briefed. I was like, there are decisions to be made. Anywho. So then she tells Jasmine she's scared and she's like, you know what? This man, he really wishes you well. I mean, well, that's the truth. He does wish her well and he gonna wish her well after he say no on decision day. He gonna be like, you know what? I still want to be cool. I wish you nothing but the best. You know, the standard F-boy speech. So he definitely wishes her well. So then she goes into this spiel about a woman being in the kitchen that still sees Eris as a child, that's bringing him food. And when she was saying it, I was thinking, not that cousin. Fallon, is that you? But it wasn't the cousin. It was the great grandmother. She tells Eris that the grandmother says that she wants to see him settle down and have babies, and that Jasmine is the first woman that she's ever liked because Jasmine has an old soul. Let me find out production paid this woman to say that so that he can say yes on decision day so they can stack their numbers. And y'all ain't fooling me. That palm of his, that old sweaty palm of his told you all that. Okay. So she tells them they both need to get out of their own way because this doesn't happen every day. What they have doesn't happen every day. Well, thank goodness for small miracles. Moving forward. Shaquille and Kirsten. So they're at home waiting for her family to come over. Waiting and waiting and waiting. So the only person that showed up was her mama. And she got lost in the parking garage for 15 minutes. Didn't I tell y'all that mama knows she can get lost? She got lost before the wedding and she got lost down here in the parking garage. So Shaquille goes down to get her. And before she comes up, he's like, well, I'm surprised nobody else could come but your mom. Kirsten gonna say, well, I mean, I have a working family. Don't we all? If you don't work, then you don't eat. Shaquille values family togetherness, and he's not feeling this sporadic family gathering. And I don't think that she has even mentioned that she's even married to that daddy. Does your daddy not like your mama? Like, why is not everybody here, honey? Why everybody not here? I don't understand it. So her mom shows up. They sit down, they start eating, because Kirsten gonna get her nourishment if she don't do nothing else. So her mom is asking how the marriage is going. Shaquille starts to speak his speech. Child, you know how you like to do. He said that Kirsten had a wall up, and then he broke her wall down and started taking her bricks and building his own wall. And now he has the wall up. She said, well, I just want both of us to be happy. Well, y'all ain't happy now. It's too early to feel the way that the two of you do. It's too much of a tug of war already. So her mom tells them to let go of expectations. And I love that. I really do love that. Like, just live in the moment. Enjoy the space that you're in now. You will never get this opportunity again, because even if the two of you do say no, this is a special experiment that you guys went through together. Y'all too busy talking about what you don't like about each other to actually enjoy. So I loved her mom's advice. It was really good. Clint and Gina. Child, this is a fool. It's a double team. Dr. Peppers and Pastor Calvin show up to visit. Where y'all been? Okay, now I gave y'all a pass after the panorama was over, but people is all in each other's faces. So where have y'all been? Okay, nice to see you. And this ain't the place y'all need to show up, because this ain't gonna work. So Dr. Pepper was asking Clint about his haircut. Y'all getting on my nerves. Stop trying to change that man. Don't ask him nothing about his haircut. He got it cut and it looked stupid, because he looked just fine before. So Dr. Pepper wants to know if they did the work and watched the movies. Ma'am. Nobody wants to watch Driving Miss Daisy. If anything, you should have assigned Mean Girls. There's a message at the end for Gina. Okay, Regina George, you should have assigned Mean Girls, not Driving Miss Daisy. They don't want to watch it, ma'am. They don't want to watch it. They were like, no, we didn't watch the movie. She's like, well, why did I even come over here? I don't know why you came either. It was a dumb idea to begin with. Them watching a movie? Ma'am, we need to get down to the nitty gritty. Why is Gina this way? Why? So Clint goes, there's just no time. We went to the retreat. We're down to the moonshine. It's just no time. Baby, Clint don't want to do it. She's like, well, I bet if I said there was $3,000 waiting for you, you guys would have found time. 3,000, that's it. Girl, anybody got 3,000 minutes. Okay, we definitely ain't coming down there for no 3,000. Up the ante and they might show up. So Pastor Cal says, well, judging from the body language, there looks like, some chemistry. That looks like you guys are comfortable with each other. So baby, what he say that for? Gina said, well, for me, I haven't gotten there. We know. So Dr. Pepper goes, well, at the wedding, there was kissing and touching. So was that fake? Gina said, well, it was in the moment. Clint said, it's what you expect at a wedding. You expect people to kiss. You expect people to embrace. So that's what was going on. So then Gina says, I try to look at things positively. Do you? She's like, but outside of surface conversation, that's about it. So then Clint is trying to be he's trying to have Gina's back. Okay. Cause he's just feeding off of whatever she's saying. So Clint said, sometimes it's a little off, but we have a ton in common. So Pastor Cal asked, what is the problem? What's wrong with y'all? He said, it's the physical. We don't see each other physically attractive. So then Gina said, personally, I feel like personality wise, Clint is outrageous. He's fun. Everyone is laughing. But he's kind of bizarre. And I kind of have secondhand embarrassment. Like, people are laughing at him. And it just doesn't feel like somebody I would want to date. And also, he doesn't make me feel like a wife. She said, I never felt pursued. Why would he pursue you when you didn't even want to move into the shared apartment? Pastor Cal had to convince you. You were ready to call it a night. You told him you didn't like his gingery features. You've been taking digs at him and trying to change him ever since you met him. Down to the retreat when he was celebrating his birthday, you basically called the man a sloth and said he was sloppy drunk. He was white boy wasted, and ew, who would look at that and say they wanted that to be their husband? But you want him to pursue you? Girl, if you don't get a grip, she's like, he said, well, I feel like, no, I haven't taken on the role of a husband. She said, what exactly is the role of a husband? He said, well, I cook. So then Gina goes, well, he cooks for Clint, not for me. Like those are things that he wants. And let me tell you something. You wouldn't be eating nothing else that comes from me. You would be eating Lunchables after your long day at Solus. After you tell me something like that, you ain't got to worry about me. You do not got to worry about me. You don't appreciate it, then I won't do it. Clint, don't cook another po' boy. You hear me? Don't make another salmon with just oil. Now, you didn't put no seasoning on it last time, and I'll let you slide, okay, because I forgot to mention it. But put some seasoning on there, honey, some Obey or something. Don't cook, not nothing else. She doesn't appreciate it, then don't cook it. And she's like, he does things that he would do for anybody. Well, he doesn't know much about you. So how is he supposed to do things for you? All he knows is that you work at the salon and that you own a salon and that you have stylists at the salon and that you cried about the stylist that quit working at the salon. So what exactly is he supposed to be doing? I don't understand it. So in the confessional, Clint said, listen, I'll take accountability for not being a husband, but to sideline me like he's creepy and he's cringy. I mean, I was completely blindsided. Gina is really a piece of work. You gave him a makeover, then all of a sudden he's giving Addams Family. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. He's all together ooky, the Addams Family. Why are you treating him like Cousin It? If you didn't want to be bothered, then don't be damn bothered. But how you gonna take him for a makeover, cut off his hair, and then decide to get in front of these people and show out? This just don't make no sense. This is just crazy, honey. Gina, I got your number. I got your number. You messing with Mackinley and you ain't fooling me, allegedly. And now you trying to blame it all on Clint because you know that Mackinley fell in your DMs and the two of you have been chit-chatting when you've been staying in that spare bedroom. And so you want to make sure that Clint does not get any bright ideas. Don't get too comfortable because this ain't what you want and you're not what I want. And you ain't fooling me. And that was the end of the episode. Gina, one day you're going to look back at this experience when it's all over and you're sweeping hair up in the salon and you're going for the 9,000th happy hour that you can go with your stylist and you come home to just Hank, you will remember when you fumbled a good opportunity because you and Clint could actually be something. But you are so shallow and so stuck in whatever world you're in and you're being rude and you're insulting and it's unbecoming. Child, this is a fool. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Like I said, let's get together and talk about it tomorrow because there were 2 after parties and I need to watch them so that we can discuss. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.